One shot at a time.
You're right, Roy. Just knock it on. Let her rip.
You're playing golf today.
No, I'm not, Grandpa. I'm playing tennis.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
You just go home. That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Welcome to the Out the Bunker podcast with DT and Jase.
Hey guys, welcome to the Out the Bunker podcast. I'm DT.
I'm Jase, aka Tug.
Whoa, hold up. I was going to introduce you back, finally, coming from over east.
Go for it.
I got in trouble for saying that you were deported, so...
Yeah, because it was a flat-out lie.
So I wanted to just welcome you back, man. How was it over east?
It was crap.
What?
It was crap, man. Just 3 weeks worth of work, 1 day off, travelled about 4,500 Ks in 2.5 weeks doing my job, my full-time job anyway, which is servicing rural water tanks. So, yeah, got to see the entire west and north part of Victoria.
That sounds so exciting.
I don't mind it being by myself, but it's a long days, long hours in a car, a lot of Ks clocked up, and then came back to Perth and went straight back to work. So not really much downtime at all.
I still can't believe that you don't get time, like at least a day when you get back.
Well, I did. I had Saturday off and Sunday off.
All right, well, look, before I introduce our next guest, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for your amazing support so far of the recent podcast. Look,
yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Episode 4 is still streaming on YouTube and Spotify. If you missed it, please give us a listen. There's some wise words there from the one and only Conrad Francis from Inspired Money. I know the people that have dealt with him and the people that I've spoken to about the episode, they've absolutely loved it due to the fact that he's just as real as they come. But I have someone a little bit more, I guess, is realer a word?
Yeah, he's pretty real.
Right,
I hugged him before we came in here.
Yeah. Okay, so look, over the last 15 years, our guest has cemented himself as one of Australia's leading strength, conditioning and high-performance coaches. He works extensively with some of Australia's leading male and female stars, as well as providing consultancy and mentoring support to the strength coaches globally. Not just WA, globally. Now, he's coached some of the some of these most amazing world-tier athletes. Big one that I always loved watching. I'll never forget seeing her for the first time, and that was Sammy Whitcomb. All right, he's coached Luke Longley, Keanu Pinder, Devondrick Walker, Mark Worthington, Maddie Knight, Greggy Hire, Sean Redditch, and I hope I'm saying this right, Merrin Craker. All right. He's as opinionated on strength and conditioning as you and I are on life, and I absolutely love it.
And probably on strength and conditioning.
Yeah, and probably on strength and conditioning. So, look, welcome Mr. Coach Knows Best himself, Sean Connolly.
Thank you very much. What an intro.
Is that all right for an intro?
Pleasure to have you on, my man. Pleasure to have you on.
My wife won't believe a word of it.
Yeah.
But that was wonderful. I feel really good about it.
It's cool.
Thank
a lot
you.
of those names that he just listed off don't sound like real people either. Like
Which
some
one?
of the names, like Devondrick Walker. Okay, like that sounds like a name from a Key and Peele skit, and you know it's a Black American dude. Like no one's calling their white child that at all.
Well, look, when you see Devondrick, you can tell him yourself.
Yeah, I'll tell Luke Longley. Like the dude's 9 feet tall and his last name is Longley.
And
Like, come on.
And he ain't catching you.
Give me a break. Not now, anyway.
Dude, we go way back.
We do.
We don't.
We
We have history, but we don't go back as far as you and DT.
like, I guess for me, man, I just wanted to share, I guess, how we know each other. So back in 2014, I was playing for, at the time, Mandurah Magic, and I was having a great season. We were top of the ladder, everything like that, and I made a move going baseline on Joe Allen, one of my favorite guys to play against. Like, he was an absolute legend, and I snapped my Achilles. And that was it, man. I went down.
On purpose. Too.
On purpose.
Very hard to do.
Achilles just sitting there flopping, right? And I had all the, professional, sports scientists coming up to me. It's just a rolled ankle. I'm like, dude, I cannot feel my foot.
It's just
They're
a
like,
rolled
no,
ankle.
you'll be fine. Stand up. And I was like,
It's genuinely cooked.
I literally it was just burning up my leg.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, oh man. So
Did you hear the gunshot?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, no,
it's crazy, eh?
It was like like a 2x4. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah.
broken a 2x4 with your hands like I have, but
I've done it with my mind.
Yeah, I've
Grow
just
up.
head bang, right? But anyway, that's what it sounded like, just a snap of wood.
Yeah.
And they called a foul on Joe Allen, so I actually thought that he stood on the back of my leg.
He snapped your Achilles.
So I've gone to go get up, and I was and just collapsed, right?
See, he's
It
not
was-
that much of a man. Kobe still shot free throws. on it.
Kobe still did
I
his
didn't
free
get
throws.
free
and
throws. It
walked
was a baseline ball.
Exactly.
I was
See,
like,
he couldn't even fake the shot. Oh, what a bum.
But I ended up reaching out to Matty Knight because I had heard that he had injuries and things
the
like
most
that.
injured man in NBA
Yeah, well,
history.
you know Sherelle Johnson, right?
Yeah.
So I knew around a similar time he had so many injuries and things like that. And I was like, look, mate, who did you go see? And he was like, oh, well, I dealt with a guy called Coach Sean Connolly. And I was like, okay, cool. So I hit you up and we started working together. And it was a tumultuous, it was insane for that year and a bit to try get me back. But, man, you got me back to a 43-inch vertical, right? And Paulie can show that video later on. I got it there. But
What was it before?
Not 43.
it wasn't 43. It was about a 38. No. Dude, I mean.
You were still bouncy and powerful, but you were
in a
never
different
like.
way.
No. Because I'd never really done strength and conditioning. Like, back in those days, like early
Everybody
2000s.
trains the same.
Yeah, it was just not like something that everyone focused on. And it was the old thing like, oh, if you lift too much, you're not going to be as quick. You're not going to be as agile around the court. So that was a misconception. Today's going to be a lot about misconceptions.
Absolutely.
I've got some fun things that you're going to decipher later on.
Sure
and
thing.
You can pick apart. But I guess that's how we kind of got to know each other. And then from then on, we've worked together back again in 2018 when I had another injury.
Yep.
And so on and so forth. So the reason we got you here is we'd like to discuss some strength and conditioning tips for golfers. Obviously, we're a golfing podcast, but we don't just focus on that. We focus around the general thing. So we just got done watching Full Swing. I don't know if you've seen any of that.
No, I've seen the previews. I haven't seen it
It's
yet.
pretty
Man,
cool.
you got to
It's a
watch
really
it.
good season to watch.
So
Yeah.
good. But I took note of the golf exercises that these guys were doing, right? And I'm sitting there going, back when I was like, basketball players didn't really lift weights. And then all of a sudden, like now you got golfers out there in better shape.
Oh,
like
yeah.
no one's John Daly
They're
anymore.
actual athletes now.
Yeah. And I just
Full-blown.
couldn't believe it, like watching Rory McIlroy do certain exercises. And he's before, after, right? And I'm
During.
During, yep. He's lifting weights out there on the
Kettlebells
course.
out on the green.
So, like, what are some things that you would look for if you're coaching? You've coached a golfer, I'm sure back in the day you have.
Many years ago, I coached a lot of golfers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right. I remember that. So I was like, what would you look for to focus on for a professional golfer or let's say an upcoming golfer in terms of strength and conditioning?
Yeah, look, it's a phenomenal question. There's my father when I was little told me this, and it's stuck with me ever since, and it's been the crux of my S&C, my high performance career is methods are many, but principles are few. So the principle of strength and conditioning is how do we get somebody producing more force? How do we get somebody stronger? And there's a multitude of different ways in getting them strong. Like if you want to lose weight, you just need to consume less calories than you expend. But you can do it by being a vegan, you can do it in paleo, you can do it intermittent fasting. Like there's a bunch of different ways to do it, and strength and conditioning is no different. I like the fact that golf has now taken on, and it has for a little while now, has taken on a real high performance element. And the biggest part is because there's lots of money in it. That's why there's high performance.
Just
right?
a bit of money.
And there's the Titleist Performance Institute in the U.S., which is like a high performance facility that also educates coaches and golfers.
Yep.
But in my opinion, I think golfers are still not strong enough. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Because the amount of force that you need to produce in golf for a swing, my whole thing is I would rather have a Ferrari with a V12, but know that I only really need to use 6 cylinders.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a real good way of putting it.
Right? But
I'm
then,
a Datsun.
But then that's the old 120Y.
Oh, I don't even have that.
Yeah.
I've got a 14 volt battery and a propeller I made out of popsicle sticks.
So you were electric
on the
before
back.
that was a thing.
Just blowing
Wind
that
turbines. I'm wind powered.
But I just don't think golfers are strong enough, and I think
Daniel.
there's a lot of nuance with it, right? And I'll give you an example. I thought of it on the way here because there's a story I told this golfer many years ago, and he was told that if he needed to get stronger, he had to practice his one wood. He needed to practice it with a heavier club. Okay. So if he wanted to just hit the piss out of this ball on the tee. He had to be able to swing harder. So what he would do is he would take a heavier club and he would really try to knock the cover off of it. Very similar to like old school baseball guys.
Yeah, they'd have the weight plates on them.
Would get a heavier bat, right? Because
do they not still do that in baseball when they come out?
That was proven to actually give them a negative effect, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
So what's happened is, fair enough, you've used a heavier weight. So now you actually have developed a level of strength to now produce more force. Awesome. But golf is almost entirely fine motor skills. It's accuracy, it's precision. One tiny degree of your wrist can change to 10 meters.
Big time.
Right? So
when that's where we fall short.
So when
Is that what it is? Is it?
Finesse.
So when they went back to the tee with the normal playing club, he couldn't hit it straight for love of money.
Yeah.
So it would go left, it would go right, because what he's done is he's over-recruited strength at the expense of fine motor skills.
Yeah, they did that on Sports Science with John Brinkus.
Yep. That's exactly what
I watched that episode. It was so
Where do you
interesting.
think he got his info from? David
Just
Nye.
ESPN.
What's his name? Bill Nye, the science guy. That's
Bill
what
Nye, the
he's like.
science guy.
Yeah, I get all my science information from the Big Bang Theory, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I'd listen to Penny for anything.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't. Yeah, not the guys, not
So-
the guys at all.
So I guess like with Bryson DeChambeau, he's probably the strongest in terms of like when you look at size and built strength.
He's slimmed down a bunch.
Yeah, he has slimmed down, but he's still very big around
He's
the
gotten
arms, shoulders,
stronger.
and stuff like that. Would you consider that like? Do you consider that peak, or could you sit there with Bryson DeChambeau, give me a year, and could you just go, bang, I'm going to turn you into something?
Yeah, absolutely. You give me any golfer and you give me 6 to 12 months and I'll turn them into something extraordinary.
Kyle Berkshire?
And it's anybody. I could turn my daughter into a PGA golfer. But the problem is, and it's the thing that I don't have, it's the skill of golf, but it's the
Everybody
fine
doesn't
motor
have that.
skills to be able to teach that, right? And those fine motor skills take a long time to develop. So I can take a golfer in 6 to 12 months, turn them into something supreme, but then it's going to take an awful long time for them to now practice what they've now acquired.
Match the skills to the strength.
Yeah.
Right. So and the perfect example is when you're a learner driver, you're driving your mom's car, you know, like your Hyundai. You're learning how to develop the skills of driving in that car. You wouldn't put a learner driver in a Lamborghini because they just don't know how to handle the
that's a good
engine,
point.
how to handle it.
Yeah.
So you need to learn how to drive, and then you earn your right to be able to do
Hone the skills to a higher level.
hone the skills
I guess.
to a higher threshold. You know, and that's where I think a lot of people will try so hard to develop the skill. So in basketball, we had Sammy Wickham in the facility today where we're going to focus on strength, and then we're going to focus on her doing high threshold skill work at the same time. So as she develops strength, the skill is on par, pardon the pun, on par with the force and the strength that she's developed.
So is she back now?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Is that still at Lamb Performance?
No, I've moved on from there. I'm at a facility actually just right here in Osborne Park. New
Yeah, right.
Movement.
Which, interestingly enough, is where our history comes from. That's literally the limit of our history.
Is
At Lamb Performance, you were there a couple of
He was
times.
in the shooting machine.
And I was doing some lifts. Like, you got me to my first 120 kilo squat just by yelling at me.
yeah.
Because I was just trying to push. I was still got the video. It was literally you just yelling at me saying, I've got it.
Yeah, good.
And then I left and went to a different gym. But yeah, that sort of stuff, it's interesting how you talk about how like increasing the level of strength while increasing the same amount of skill. So like I'm a pretty decent strength level, I guess, for my size in terms of my training, but I don't practice golf anywhere near as much. So I was at the range today. I haven't played golf in well over a month, probably. And I noticed my strength levels are up when I hit a shot well, but I don't have the consistency of hitting that shot well.
Yeah.
So I look at that distance. So, for example, my 7-iron is usually my 150-metre club. I hit it once. It went like 147 because I got the wicked TrackMan at Wembley now.
Yeah, it's all good there. It's
Hit it
awesome.
147 carry, and I was like, oh, that feels like a normal shot, but something felt off. And then I just kind of went through the motions, hit another swing, and then the 7-iron carried 163. So my strength level is there to hit it that far, but I don't have the fine tuning of golf to know I can do that again, which I guess is where if you're increasing strength and skill at the same level, you'll notice both of those increase. Whereas I'm just strong at the moment. Like I can do all compound lifts, probably above average for my size or my weight. But yeah, in terms of being able to put that into practice, on a golf course or even a basketball court. I don't have the gas tank for that either.
But you don't get the time either. Like, we all have full-time jobs. You don't get the time to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to
Kids and
dedicate
the whole
8
nine,
hours.
Yeah. I watch a YouTube video and think I can play like Tiger Woods.
We spoke about, with
much
Glenn,
how
we
life
spoke
works.
about couch coaches, and that's literally what you end up being, right? You watch a YouTube video. How many
can do
times
that.
have we got, like, dude, we've got on the golf course, and I'll be like, how you feeling, man? Like, you ready to go? And he goes, yeah, I watched Rory win the DP World Tour. I think I'm good.
I feel like I'm good.
Yeah, I feel like I'm good.
I got all the motivation.
I do it all the
I need.
time.
You know, the funny thing is, like, when I used to play ball, I'd watch like a Jordan video or something like that, and I'd be hyped, man.
Chuck the
I'd be
VHS
hyped,
in.
yeah, the old VHS, and I'd be hyped, ready to go, right?
Yeah.
I didn't play like him, but I came out
were
and I
feeling
played
it.
harder. I felt good,
Yeah.
right? Some kind of confidence.
I used to watch
And I
those
guess
old
that's what it
Shaq
is.
and Larry Johnson and
Just
all the
bet.
old
I
VHS.
I just watch Muggsy Bogues videos. I'm like, I can do that.
Just getting bullied.
Spud Webb. I can get pushed over.
so
Easy.
good.
Get in that
So
one.
good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess kind of moving on from that, which I love because I guess the strength side of things is something that really works with where I'm at the moment. But if you actually had to pick a golfer that you'd love to be able to turn into a much better golfer or develop in the world, anybody, if I don't know how much you follow in golf, but who do you reckon it'd be?
Look, I've always had dreams of training Tiger Woods. Always had.
Yeah, right.
And who's that Australian golfer? Cam
Smith.
Cam Smith.
Yeah, man.
He's the one.
Yeah.
If ever he finds out who I am and he can fly me
We'll
over to
tag you on
Queensland,
this, Cam.
I-
Aussie to Aussie
I'll
brother,
turn
we'll tag
him
you. We'll get
into
you
a
over.
weapon, right? He's the epitome of a guy that has all the skill in the world, but if he was able to become just ungodly strong
Yeah,
and
like
learn
super
how
athletic.
to harness that strength, like hitting the club would just feel like a hot knife through butter. It would feel easy.
More than it already
right?
does.
And so with golfers in particular, because it's endurance in physical and mental in nature. And I would argue that there's an awful lot of physical elements in golf, but you have to be mentally tough. So if you
Big
get a
time.
professional golfer, I want to make sure that the skill's taken care of. That's their problem, and that's usually a tick if they're playing PGA or Live. The strength elements taken care of. I've got that all sorted. We've got them strong.
Yep.
We'd have to make sure that they're mentally tough.
Yeah.
Like that piece of jelly between the ears has to be strong and robust to cope with ups and downs, pressure, shit talking, all that kind of jazz, right?
Well, perfect example, like if you ever watch Full Swing season 1, Brooks Koepka was a shell of a human being. Like, and he copped
And
a
Joel
lot of,
Darman.
Yeah, but he copped so much flack. Like, I guess, it's social media, and you're always going to get backlash and stuff if you present yourself as vulnerable, right? Especially being a dude. Like, we still haven't reached that point where a dude can be vulnerable and everyone supports it. If it's a chick, not a problem. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, you poor thing, blah, blah, blah. But
You're so brave.
yeah, but if it's a dude, like Brooks Koepka cops so much flack, like, oh man, you're on 200 million, toughen up your, you know what, right? And it's like, this dude struggled so bad with his mental health and I guess keeping it all together that his golf just like plummeted. And everyone's like, oh, the only reason he's going to Live is because he'll never win another one, blah, blah. And that's why when they played that Live tournament and he was playing well, I was cheering for him to win in the PGA Championship because I
when he came
wanted him
back.
to win when he came back, and he smashed it, and then he won one, and I was like, not only is that great for Liv, that's great for Brooks as well. And then when you watch season 2, he just seems like a different dude.
Yeah.
He's like ready to go. He's focused. He's, V-lining for what he wants. It's phenomenal. And like you said, like that's all mental. It's got nothing to do with his capabilities as a golfer because he didn't change anything.
I'd like to see a little bit more tough love with athletes in particular in golf.
Oh,
Like,
so much.
If you're a younger athlete, like you, I think there needs to be a level of tough love. I think the training mental health is important, but I think we've really got to teach people to be a little bit more robust.
Oh,
Like if-
mental resiliency
absolutely.
is a
Like if
massive
someone's
thing.
going, hey, you're not very good. You're making 200 million.
Yeah,
Oh, hey,
yeah.
hang on. I'm making 200
Yeah,
million.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Enjoy the show, fella.
But I guess that's part of
Right?
mental health, right? Is that mental resilience like you're talking about? Yeah.
And if look at the end of the day, if you're on the world tour, like you're the business, you're the bee's knees.
You're in the top 150 in the world.
Right? Absolutely. And so I think we need to teach these athletes that they've got a sharp sword. We just got to teach them how to sharpen it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Instead of telling them, oh, look, you're really, you say that you're not good enough. We need to really get around you and protect you and then lift you up. No. They're already lifted up. We just got to sharpen that sword an awful lot more.
Yeah,
that's right.
But I think, this generation coming through is going to have a much harder time than the generation before.
They already do.
And I think too, it always helps being a son of an Irish Catholic. Like nothing offends me, except when my daughter goes, Daddy, I was upset because you were late today. All right, arrow through the heart, right?
Yeah.
But if someone calls me a name or anything else, like it's just water off a duck's back, right?
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be far more of an approach with a lot of these golfers.
And look, in your world, you've dealt with that big time. You know what I mean?
100%.
In the basketball world, like some people love you, some people don't.
Yep.
And that's the reality of it. And I mean, I dealt with the same thing. And like you said, you just have to kind of be sharper and not let that affect you. But it's so hard for kids these days because they get it from all angles.
Yeah.
Like we talk about it when we talk about like Jordan. Could Jordan deal with what LeBron's dealt with? Probably, because he's that like, you know.
But it's a different
He
world.
would have done
It
it
is
in
a different world.
He just would have done it in a different way.
Yeah.
And that's why I think golfers have a really tough time. And I think, I don't want to be the one to sit here and go, I think mental health is, and the whole topic of mental health is a little softly, gently. I think it's a scale. I think we can be a little soft, and I think there are times where people are a little too blunt in their approach. It's a scale. There are athletes that fit in different parts of those scales. But if you're a golfer and you're playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday all day, and you get the peanut gallery just chipping away at you every step between hit and hole, and like I would argue that is far more grueling than 40 minutes on a basketball court.
Oh, yeah.
Just someone jeering at you, because when you're done the 40, you're off and
following
home.
you around
You will
the
not
course
make
for 6
Right?
hours, just beelining every comment.
Well, that's not
towards
Happy
you.
Gilmore, right?
could
The dude,
get-
you will not make this putt.
Yeah, true.
jackass.
You could
Yeah, it
genuinely
ruins
get
it
a
for him.
Karen and a Kevin just follow you for kilometers all the way around, right?
I'd rub clubs or run heads.
Yeah.
I would snap. I know I'd snap. But not because they're like dwindling me down, but just because that sort of stuff pisses me off to a certain level.
Yeah.
Like cool jeer at athletes, like you kind of sign the contract when you become a professional athlete that you got to take the good with the bad, but the
there's a
bad's always
level,
louder than
right?
the good.
Yeah, I absolutely
And I guess to
agree.
what level as well. Like you see a lot of, I guess the biggest thing you notice in Australia at the AFL level is the racial comments. In America, they probably get it too as well, but it's just, I don't know, you're talking
America's
with Glenn
not
about,
racist. What are you talking
about? like couch coaches in real life. Like in your face couch coaches, if they rock up too genuinely gun for you.
Yeah.
Like you can be built as strong as the next person, but it definitely will.
Yeah, everyone's got a hot button.
Little chips away,
Everyone's got a hot button. And look, I tell everybody, if you want to see guys and girls that are mentally resilient, more often than not, go to a packed MCG for an AFL or an AFLW game. The crowds and what they say, I would argue, are far filthier than most. Maybe,
Of course.
maybe soccer over in Europe. When you get you go to Liverpool, you see the Scousers.
And the
get
messed
into
up
it.
part about them too is
Death
there's
threats.
40,000 all chanting
Right.
it. It's not like just one or two guys
That's a
out in
very
the crowd.
clear message.
It's a clear message.
But like
repeat.
those are tough. Like those are, you're going to war.
Yeah.
And I think too, with the amount of people that follow golf and that are now around the course, I don't think we've ever seen crowds as big as we've seen them now, especially with PGA and Live now. You got two juggernauts side by side. Golf has never been in a more amazing spot than it is now, with more people signing up. Memberships are through the roof. It's a fashion. Like the strength and conditioning world's taken off now, with people realizing, holy shit, I actually need to be strong. I need to be robust. And you actually have to have some level of endurance. You have to have an aerobic capacity to be able to handle the demands of, if you're playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or even
at
just
that level.
12.
Yeah.
Not many people can play 12 and feel, I could definitely do another one. No, you're done. You're cooked by the end
call
of
it a
12.
day. Yeah.
Right?
Coming off the back of that statement, where would you say the current state of strength and conditioning is at the moment?
Yeah, I thought about this when we prepped for this. I think strength and conditioning, the industry as a whole, is both really excelling and it's really shitting the bed on some parts too, right? The bit that it's excelling in is there's a lot of research. There's a lot of people investigating problems in the weights room for athletes. There's a lot of sports science. There's a lot of tech that's coming out, wearables, GPS, force plates, the whole nine. And it's not stopping. Like the amount of
it's only going to get bigger.
It's crazy, right? And I love it. I love being a data nerd. Like I've been at part of my role being at West Coast, like I've got access to some of the best brains in the industry.
Yeah.
The contacts we've got there are phenomenal to be able to learn and develop.
West Coast Hi-Fi must be doing pretty well to have him there.
Hi-Fi doing very well.
There's some really big research, and sporting teams and players privately and sporting teams are expanding their departments. So there's more jobs in sporting teams and in high performance and professional sport than there ever has.
Yeah.
The problem is,
I was waiting for a but. There's got to be a but.
And it's a massive bugbear. The amount of coaches that will go when they're 17, they finish school here in WA, they'll finish at 17, 18. They'll go and do their degree. They'll be done by 21. They do their master's. They're done by 24. They then do their PhD. They're done by 26. They're now a doctor of philosophy, a doctor at 26 years old. I've cooked steaks on a barbecue longer than they've been alive, right?
The life experience is almost nil in comparison.
They have no idea how to program an athlete. They don't understand anything about being in the trenches, and that shits me.
Yeah, and they just grew pubes.
Right. And look, there are some phenomenal strength coaches that have gone into the trenches real quick. They figured out the language, and then they've just excelled. A really good friend of mine, Dr. Ramsey, who's now working with the University of Kansas with their basketball team. He's a genius, youngest S&C coach in NBA history with the Sacramento Kings. Like, he's a genius. Yeah. But he's the exception. Like, so many guys and girls will come in, do their research. They'll be an intern at a professional team. And then by the end of their internship, they're like, well, you're here. We might as well offer you a job.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Stay in the same position.
And so that was one of the reasons why I originally got out of chasing a spot in professional sport, because I didn't want to be the guy that just got the job because I was next in line.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to get it because I earned it. So I went into the private sector and crushed it there for the last 15 years. Now, ironically enough, I'm getting back into the professional sector and nothing's changed.
Good, yeah.
But the fact is, it's much easier for me now because I know how to get an athlete from A to B. So now my work with West Coast and my work with professional teams and consulting for them, it's easy to get from A to B because I've gone to A to B 1,000 times.
Yeah, I guess you've got your stripes.
Right.
So you weren't just the next guy in line.
Correct, right? And that makes it really easy because now, and being older, being 38 now, I've got better rapport with athletes than I ever did at 22, 23. Right? Life experiences make a huge thing.
Life has been rough on you.
But I guess from what I see as well,
that was fantastic.
From what I see as well, is, man, like you can get really down a dark rabbit hole through social media of people that don't even have degrees. Like, you're talking about people that have degrees.
Influencers and stuff.
These fitness influencers, I watch them and I get angry. Because I've obviously worked with you and I've worked with other strength and conditioning coaches when I was playing, and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, like, these people are literally just giving information with zero background knowledge other than they're young girls and they got a booty.
Yep.
That, you know what, 90% of the time is natural anyway. Like, they put a little bit of work into it, but they were already naturally attractive.
It's fake and injected.
Or it's fake and injected. You know what I mean? So it's like, and they're just feeding people. And like we said, with golf, you watch a video on YouTube or on social media and you go, I'm going to practice that. Yeah. Same thing. These other people are then going, well, I don't need to pay a strength and conditioning coach.
Yep.
I can just watch
that.
Yeah,
I've seen a 15-minute video on YouTube and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll just repeat that for the next 3 months, then I'll watch another video.
And it just boggles my mind how people continue to do this stuff.
I've always challenged athletes, and you did this phenomenally when we were up at Hillary's working together, and I'll tell you the story about that in a second. But I always tell athletes, challenge your coaches by asking them why 3 times. Hey, we're going to do this. Okay, why? Explain it. Okay, well, why do we do that one? Oh, this is why. Like, make them work for it. And if they can adequately tell you what it is that you're doing and can unveil it and make it as detailed as possible, you're good to go.
Oh, I ask questions in between my crying and moaning and I can't do this.
So here's an example, right? If I go see a masseuse, my anatomy knowledge is great.
Why is your finger there?
I'll
What's
ask them,
that for?
why is my, like, what's that back there, that muscle, like why can't I get that to here? And if they can't tell me what those muscles are, what they're connected to, or insertions or origins, you'll never see me again.
Well, you shouldn't keep going to the ones that have the neon signs at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's not what they do, brother. They'll work a different muscle.
The ones with the negligees, I thought were the ones.
Yeah. You look like a strength and conditioning masseuse.
How do you think they welcome him into the door? How do you think
you're so strong.
That's so funny. Do you know what's really funny? And this is, I think I sent this photo to you a little while ago. I've got about 25, 30 jerseys on my wall in my office, right? And yours is up there as well. Mm-hmm. And I had
in a box,
and I had someone ask, like, why have you got this guy? Like this is just Dan Tony didn't do anything wonderful. And the cool thing was you did, because you came to me with a completely busted Achilles, and it was a Geraldton Bucks jersey.
Yeah.
And it's framed. I got it really nice framed. It's up. I walk past it every time I go in my office. And that you didn't achieve anything at the Bucks, but with the next season when you went to Coburn, you got the ring.
Yeah, that's it.
So that Bucks jersey reminds me every single time that all of these other athletes that we've achieved amazing success with, yours is too, because you came back from an injury that has rendered other athletes completely obsolete. And you had enough grit, enough determination, enough stupidity maybe to continue on. And you came back and you did great things at Bucks, realized Bucks wasn't the fit. You moved to Coburn, and you and Pierce won, you and Alex.
Princey, yeah.
Alex won the chip.
Yeah.
Like, and so every
was
time
it the Geraldton coach that asked you that question? Why have you got that dude's jersey up there? He did nothing?
But so that's the messed up part, is like people, like recently Paulie was recording with Wags. Like, you asked Wags whether I was hard to guard, like I guarantee you he'd give you a straight answer. You know what I mean? Like, people forget because I am so small and I'm kind of like, not forgotten, because people didn't forget me on scouting reports, but it was like, I was a Bucks MVP, I was an all-star in the league, like all that type of stuff.
You were very good.
But you don't realize, like, until you win that championship, you're just another player.
Yeah.
Right, and then when you win that championship, you'll go, oh, you finally
This was back in SBL days, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was still SBL. Like, dude, we still hold on to the hat that we were officially, that 2016 championship, the last game outside of the NBA ever in the history of basketball to be a 48-minute game.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone over East had already gone 40 minutes.
40s.
Europe was already 40, Indonesia, all that. Yeah, right? So we were still 48 minutes. That was the last game ever, because that next season they switched to 40.
Well, I hold that jersey I hold it tight,
Good,
because that was a good
I'm gonna burn
memory.
I'm going to find out where you live, and I'm going to put my own jersey up in its place.
A lot of people look for accolades, but like that's a memory of like a really, really challenging time, and that was a really hard time for us to work together. It was hard.
Oh, man.
You walking up those stairs.
Where were you when
doing
I was
the work.
15, bro?
Yeah.
But bro, like for
I
me,
snapped both mine when I was 15.
For me, it was a big mental thing. Like for me, it was a huge. Yeah, he did.
You laugh. I'm serious. 1 foot after the other when I was 15 years old.
In the same injury?
Yeah.
1 foot after the
So
other.
you just went snap, snap.
Yep. 2 gunshots. And I was like, pimp down. And I was like,
and then you got back up and was like, again.
can't stand. No, it was 200
that's
meters. 200 meters in when I was 15 years old.
So you're in a wheelchair?
And I was coming first.
2 boots?
I was coming first. I was like 15 meters before the end. And I hear this snap. And I put my foot down, and there's just no strength in it. So I stumble onto the other one, and I hear another snap. And I slide face first over the line. I came second. But I watched it curl like into the back of my legs. I don't know, because I was coming first by enough that when I slid, he passed me. But
how fast was
my
this
momentum
slide?
Who were you racing?
was like,
You snapped an Achilles and you still came second. What was everyone else
just
doing?
the stumble. They were pretty slow in comparison. This is 15 years old. Like, if you weren't good at athletics, you just did it because you had to. But I was like, it was something that I actually enjoyed doing. And then like 11 months before I was able to do anything again.
That's wild.
That is wild.
So, look, I'm gonna play some videos here, and I need you to analyze this.
Sure.
These are misconceptions, and I know that you're out there kind of. I've watched a fair few. I'll obviously watch all your videos, but you debunk so many of these, and I kind of want you to look at these because I saw one that you posted the other day, and I've gone, oh my God, I've seen people do this still to this day. And you know how we were talking about strength and conditioning coaches that have no idea?
Yeah.
Man, the amount of, don't even get me started, the amount of guys
You're
who
getting yourself started.
I'm getting worked up, man. The amount of NBL 1 players right now that I sit there and go, oh my God, I would have murdered these guys. Like myself and Wags, we would have killed these guys. And we spoke about it the other night via message, right?
Yep.
That are like charging people money to do drills, and they're doing drills that James Harden does or Kevin Durant. Like they're doing like the hold the ball, twist on one foot and shoot. And I'm like, they can't shoot normally. And you're getting these young kids to do skill work that the best players in the world are doing. They don't need to sit there and shoot 10 jump shots
for both
to work on their
basketball
form
and golf. It's ridiculous.
It is insane, man. And I get heated watching. I'm not going to name names. I will some point when I get angry enough, right? But
I want to see you get angry enough and just like look straight down the camera and name their middle name, their
Jason
family.
Wood.
Hey man, I'll admit it. I watch all the best athletes in the world and
honestly,
try and copy them.
I just can't. I look at it and I cringe, you know. And I've seen it firsthand when I go to coach holiday camps because I still coach holiday basketball camp for little kids, bro. I do fundamentals, basic fundamentals, because these are kids that they throw the ball in the air and drop it, and I'm meant to come out and start teaching these kids.
You meant to catch it?
You're meant to catch it.
I got to come to these camps.
But anyway, I'm going to play a video for you.
Honestly, I was the best orange slices bringer you've ever seen. The strength of these biceps and shoulders to hold that plastic tub.
And then he did his Achilles. He wasn't in the race. He was just running with oranges.
I was just the dude who fired the gun off.
So I'm going to show you this video. This is one that you posted the other day.
Yeah.
Paulie, I've got this in the thing so you can put this up. All right, misconception number 1. Oh,
What
wait.
is she-
Hold on.
is this for
Let
basketball?
me, hold on. I'm
Spin
going to
left.
turn the volume up.
Side. Change.
Is this for basketball?
Spin right.
We don't know.
Side.
My goodness.
What is she training for? The NFL Combine?
Bro, I don't know.
What is that?
I saw that and I'm like, even the NFL Combine, like, okay, so tell me, what?
You know the thing
What is
where
that?
you know the
Nothing.
thing like this.
I
is
know
it?
that's
You know
nothing.
that Windows thing that says like the system shutting down. Like that's what my brain does when I see that.
1,000
What's the?
and it just loses because my brain can't handle this. This that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
awful. Can I say that? I can cuss, right?
Yeah, he'll block it out,
Okay,
man. He'll block it out.
okay. Yeah, that is just pure nonsense because you're spinning too much. You're not practicing any technique. You're just sort of running and prancing.
Also, she wasn't any good at anything.
No,
like, she
it's-
wasn't athletic or coordinated. That looked like he just yelled at a kid who was sitting on the curb minding their own business going, hey, I need to film a video.
So
I'm
in-
going to chuck you in it and
so
yell
in
some
context,
What's his name?
that-
Power Plus.
Yeah, he's. I
Power
don't.
Plus. I'm calling him out. That's
Professionally,
dude
I don't
that-
have a lot of nice things to say about him. The work, there's a lot of stuff on his page that's very, very negligent, very dangerous.
Is he the one that had some people on like that back extension thing?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
hacking
Yeah,
that.
I
So I
shared
saw
that.
that the other day.
Yeah, I shared that. That's,
I wanted to punch this dude through the back
Yeah,
of
see,
his
that's
skull.
what I'm saying.
I think a lot of people have to think past just calling them out because of this BS type of training. The bit that it concerns me with is, yeah, you've got this level of BS. You've got people that are stupid because they'll try dumb stuff. But the problem is people will try that dumb stuff and then post it. And then more people will want to copy and then do it.
Yeah.
Sheep.
Other coaches will see that and go, oh, that looks fun. I actually have a really an inability to train people properly. So I need to excite them so they actually really like what I do at training.
Yeah.
So if they're constantly excited, then they're going to keep coming back to
Yeah,
me. When
yeah.
in fact, a good coach will do the fundamentals savagely well.
Yeah.
I continually do
Yeah, nail
deadlifts
the
and
basics.
squats.
Grind it.
And,
Yeah.
and there's a reason why they continually look and perform the way they do
Yeah.
because we do the basics.
Yep.
And if we are going to do fast feet, we do it on court.
Do it properly.
Like we do fast feet on court.
Yeah.
It's like those agility ladders.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
kill me now. Like those people that do those little drills with fast feet on agility ladders. I just want to punch myself
Outside
in
of
the mouth.
NFL players, I don't see any sport that justifiably puts that into work. Because at least with wide receivers and stuff, their stutter steps or their misdirections, that's the only way I can see
Yeah.
how that transfers.
Oh, okay, brilliant. I'm glad you said that because if you have a look at agility, when you have a look at them when they snap the ball and those wide receivers go, none of them will stay in a little
Yeah, that's true.
50 centimeter
They're
by
not in a
50
foot by
center.
foot box.
Yeah, no,
They're
they're
not in a
gone.
box.
Yeah.
They are gone. And if you have a look at many of them, they are so fast and powerful that they're covering 10 meters in 4 steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less than.
Yep.
And then they've changed direction. They've got a 45-degree angle, and they've already gone past you, and you've just realized it.
Yeah, whereas I cover
an
10 meters in about 40 steps.
I'm still going.
Yeah.
There's the agility ladder pays no dividends.
Yeah.
It's you end up with a net loss.
I'll cancel my order.
All right, so here's the second one. This is something I,
three.
This is something I could see Jason doing in a gym.
That is me, isn't it? No.
Come on. Oh, shut up.
Okay, for starters, I hate that squat bar. The safety squat bar annoys me. The hex deadlift I like, but I don't understand the point of the second.
Oh, the hex bar's amazing.
Hex bar I
the
love,
hex
but
bar.
I don't understand the safety squat bar being there as well. Also, I don't reckon they're 25 kilo plates. I reckon they're the 5
the
kilo
fake
red
weights
plates.
of it.
No, I reckon they're the 5 kilo red weights.
So, what's your thoughts?
I know your thoughts. You don't have to ask that.
That is
Pray tell.
just awful. You're trying to do two really complicated movements at the same time. That's like if the coach comes to you and says, "Hey, coach, what are we doing today?" Like, okay, we're going to do a hex bar deadlift. We're going to do a squat. We're going to do an overhead press. We're going to do some bicep curls. All right, that's cool. So that seems like a really cool workout.
Let's do them together.
All at the
We're
same
gonna
time.
We're going to do them all at once.
Yeah. Better take a
It's
glass of water,
just,
buddy.
man, the kind of people that do that kind of exercise are the kind of people that believe you that saying chewing gum helps you develop a skinny face.
That happens?
No.
Is that what my problem
They're,
is?
they're to me, they're the
These
flat
gels
earthers.
could be gone with a few hubba bubbas, right?
Here's me growing a beard so you don't see how fat I am.
At least you can grow
It's
a beard.
just
Shit.
mindless
Patchy.
waffle. The other thing too is, I think the burden of proof rests on the coach that posts that crap.
Oh, 100%.
To go, I want you to show me the results of how that has positively affected your athletes.
And this is
And if you
Dr.
can't-
Joel Seedman.
Yeah, he's a classic.
Anybody puts doctor in front of their name these
He's
days
a
as
doctor,
well,
though,
though.
man.
He has
knows what
a
he's-
PhD.
Yeah, he's got a PhD.
I got a
in
PhD too.
Nonsense.
The burden of proof rests on the coach that puts that stuff out. You know,
Yeah.
that's where I think call out culture is okay. When you go, okay, cool, I'd like you to show me, instead of these trolls be like, go on, prove it, show me the research. I have a lot of evidence to show that stuff that I've given my athletes works, but there's no literature behind it. And I'm pairing with other researchers in the
proof is in
university
the pudding.
space to research that stuff. That's where one of the things where I think strength and conditioning needs to get better is you've got the white lab coats that are geniuses, but have no idea of what goes on in the gym. And then you have meatheads like me where that do the stuff that's in the trenches, but we know stuff works, but we need some help figuring out the science behind
You
it.
got to
You
mash
gotta
them
blend
together.
the two.
And then you
And
have
there
some
you
good
get
stuff.
Professor Hulk.
And that's
But-
like that guy that you were talking about, the young one. Yeah, he's over with Kansas or Kentucky?
Yeah, he's with Kansas.
Kansas, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's sick.
But the burden of proof rests on them.
Yep.
So you show me how a safety bar and a hex bar makes that NFL player,
At the same time.
then
Because
I'll
separately,
eat my words.
Separately,
But-
they have their strengths.
Yeah.
So look, we'll push through because we've got probably about 15 minutes to go. So I guess this is the next one. And I just want to get a quick one on this because this...
I already know what exercise this guy's doing
man.
without
I
watching the
love how
video.
you guys
The
already
messed up part is you used to make me finish off my exercises with this to just wear me out, right? So the push-ups on the barbell, but there was no band and there was no plate on my back.
your
So
back.
I think I know what
yeah,
you're
so
going to
like
show me.
yeah, like you weren't on the mark, mate. You failed to do the right thing.
I dropped the ball.
You dropped the ball because
Oh,
I should have been
God.
doing this.
Is that
There's no need for that weight sitting where it is.
Is that a band
That's a
pulling it
TheraBand.
towards his head?
No, yeah, I think the TheraBand is like
Is on the way,
meant
so
to be
it's-
pulling him this way, so he's stabilizing.
Yeah, so it doesn't roll forward.
Yeah.
So
Which
he's
is-
got over 100 kilos on the bar, so it's
Yep.
a weighty bar.
It's not going to roll forward with that small band
It's not going to
anyway.
roll with the band.
Yeah. Nah.
And then he's
Well,
got
it's a red
weight
band too. What are they like?
That's
baby
like a
weight.
5
baby,
kilo
yeah.
resistance.
Yeah,
And then
it's
he's got a
something.
weight plate on his back.
Yeah, which is that if it's a thick one as well, that's only a 5 kilo plate. That's not a 25 kilo plate.
It's like that guy that was on the treadmill running his ass off, and he had like a band.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
So like
Oh,
weights. It was
man.
like,
And it's not the
hey
tr-
bud, hashtag physics. Like
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
Hashtag physics. Yeah. Oh God, man. I've missed you, man.
It speaks true to that whole thing of like, people are just sheep though. They say, they see something quote unquote exciting and they're like, oh, I got to try it. And then it gets shared and then it gets shared and it eventually goes viral. But if you look at compound exercises, the main compound exercises are still the base of any training. With alterations depending on the sport or whatever it be, your bench, squat, deadlift. Everybody still does it with some kind of variation. You don't need to add a safety bar to a hex bar deadlift. You don't need to add, some of the guys do, like when you see leg presses and stuff, they rack it up with all the plates and then they get people sitting on it.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, if you're that strong, go to a different
Surely
gym.
that's just a social media
Oh, it
ploy,
is.
right? Like,
yeah, it is. But it's like, that's what they do it for. I mean, you don't go to an actual legitimate gym You wouldn't go to any NBA gym and see athletes training like that.
No.
You see it in a closed-off gym where they can film whatever they need to. They know it's going to go viral because hate is just as much spotlight as like people saying, yeah, that's actually pretty decent. And then somehow everybody thinks they want to monetize it.
Not much has changed in strength training since the 50s.
No.
Yeah.
Not much has changed.
I just know more.
There's yeah, for sure. But in the 50s, we kind of figured out an awful lot. We've refined it over the years, and so we're kind of at the top of this law of diminishing returns when it comes to how we train in the gym. And there's very few instances where we find this little gold nugget, or we haven't looked under this stone and there's some really cool stuff there. And there's very few times we find a gold nugget.
Yeah.
And everyone's trying to find that gold nugget.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Or create it out of thin air.
Right. And there's nothing that replaces a dumbbell, a barbell, a kettlebell.
That's right.
You know, these
And kettlebells
have been
around for
slosh
ages.
bags, shoot me now, like agility ladders, like all of this, these
shake weight?
nonsense. Yeah, the shake
Do you have
weight.
the shake weight?
Yeah, I have
you
the
seen
original
shake
one.
weight? You've got one. I know you do.
I am the shake weight. I just shake my weight in front of the mirror.
There's one video I need you to do. We're not going to discuss it now because we've got to get into the
Shake
front
your
nine
weight
and
in front
back
of the
nine.
camera.
We're totally, this is a part 2 waiting to happen. This
Yeah,
is-
but
this is
100%.
No, but
fantastic.
there's a video I want you to do, and you need to tag us and talk about us
Sure.
in it.
Don't
But
touch me.
But what I want you to talk about, because this is one thing, you spoke about how not much has changed since the 50s. However, we have really refined things. And I want you to explain, we're not going to talk about it now, rest. Right? I know you know rest is important
you were
after
telling him
lifting.
to rest.
No,
Yeah.
you rest.
Chill out, Sean.
Yeah, breathe, brother.
Pump the brakes, big
But
guy.
all this stuff now that's coming out in the NBA about taking a day off,
Yeah.
taking
Oh,
rest.
load management.
Load management, right? I need you to do a video explaining what your thoughts and beliefs are on load management, considering we've come so far in terms of strength and conditioning and refining things, but now our athletes are playing less than ever in terms of because, they got to take a rest day.
Well, you say our athletes. That's literally only basketball that I know that does that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
NFL players don't do that.
No, because they sit on the sideline for half an hour
Yeah,
before
rugby
they go
players
back in.
don't. Rugby players don't do it.
And they're
Soccer
not allowed
players
to.
don't do
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah, I guess. But
Basketball's the only sport that really pushes it.
Okay, but then I guess when you think of rugby players, they're also missing games more than they ever did, right? Because back
that's
in the old
concussions.
days, no. But back in the old days, you rolled an ankle, you strapped that bad boy up, and you were out there next week. Now they roll an ankle.
Out for 3
They're
to
out
4
because
weeks.
they got to be cautious, right? Yes, I get it. There's more money on the line. We said we weren't going to talk about it. Anyway,
You said we weren't going to
know,
talk
I
about
don't
it, but you
I
brought
think
it
it's-
up.
Do you know
It's
what I
my
think
house. It's my house.
I'll make a series of videos about it because I think
Yeah.
it's an interesting space to look at for
Cool.
both basketball and golf because there's 2 different approaches
Yeah.
and I've got 2 different
cool.
ideas about
Will
it.
you tag Top Deck Golf
Absolutely.
in it?
Definitely a part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pod
for
though,
sure.
for sure.
All right, so look, let's get into the front 9, and then Jase will do the back 9.
Yep.
Set of questions. We want you to just kind of see where you're going.
Okay.
All right, so who holds the all-time record for Mr. Olympia wins?
Wait, is this for both of us or just him?
Now, this is just for him.
Okay, right.
You know it.
Well, I
Was
knew it
it-
before I looked at the
I'll ask the
answer.
first one.
It's, I think it's Ronnie Coleman still. Ronnie Coleman?
Ronnie Coleman. There's another dude equal on 8.
Phil Heath?
Nope.
Arnie?
Nope. He's on 6.
Phil Heath has got 7, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Cutler?
No.
Nah, he's an
Lee-
older.
Yeah.
Oh, like Lee Priest?
No, Lee Haney.
Oh, his
Yeah,
physique
like
was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
He was like granite.
Man, how sad is it to see Ronnie Coleman right now?
I don't think it's sad at all. When you hear his
Well,
interview,
I
he's
know,
like,
I
it was
know.
all worth it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I met him in 09 when he was yoked.
Yeah.
And he's
I
All
could
right.
meet him now and he's still yoked. So.
What is the most common lie told to athletes about strength training?
that it makes you big, therefore it makes you slow. And putting muscle on makes you slow.
And roids will help everything.
What's another one? For women, getting strong makes you bulky.
That's the strength all
Yeah,
over.
because heaven forbid you lift a dumbbell, it turns you into a Mrs.
Yeah, I
Olympia.
know. How dare you?
And the other thing is you don't need to, or you need to run to get fit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those 2 are the biggest.
yeah, that's what the shake weight's for.
Yeah, perfect. Great exercise.
Burn those extra calories
Ladies
on
out
the
there,
go.
Practice
I'm
the
going to buy
shake
one
weight.
just to have it on the pod.
Sponsored by Rig Barber. All right. If you had to choose between not seeing, I asked this last week. If you had to choose between not seeing again or not having hands again, what would you choose?
not having hands.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why does everyone say that?
Yeah,
I'd rather not see again.
Me too.
Dude, you know how
no chance.
famous Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles are?
So it's really funny. I did
Bruh.
this to my wife a number of times. There'd be like as a stitch up, right? As this attractive girl would walk past, and I'd be like, "Hey, babe, can I look but can't touch, or can't touch but not see?" And she'd be like, "You're such a dick, Sean. You're such a dick." But no, cut my hands off.
Okay.
I need my eyesight.
All right. As a child growing up, what is one lie your parents told you that you figured out later in life?
You're adopted.
Oh, I can't say it because
She's adopted.
because the lie I would tell you, it's about some guy who wears red with a beard.
Yeah, okay.
The Slender Man.
Yeah,
No?
the Slender.
You have to figure that out by yourself?
The
Slender
Slender.
Man?
Yeah, so I was big into autographs.
Yeah.
I had this autograph book in the 90s,
no.
and I loved autographs.
Do you have his autograph?
So I put a note out with the paraphernalia that he puts in his mouth and drinks.
Yeah, bit of weed.
And I said, hey, can you sign my autograph book? It'd make my day. And I was
What a loser.
And anyway, the next day, there's this big ass
What a
red.
loser.
There's this red
How old are you?
thumbprint.
15.
I was probably last year, but I was about 7. I was about 7, and there's this massive thumbprint, huge thumbprint, and I was like, oh my god! I run to my parents. And I'm like showing him the book and like, Mom, check this out. This is amazing. He's signed it. And then my dad goes, give me a look. And there's the
black
thumbprint
bit.
with
no
the
way.
red on his thumb. And I just
Couldn't
went,
even commit the perfect
like,
crime.
Shivering
Yeah.
bottom lip, like.
What do you mean you're like, Dad, you're black? No.
And then as I'm running away, I could hear like running down the hallway. My dad's like, I told you, Susan, this shit wouldn't work.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault for not washing his hands.
Oh, God.
God damn it, Susan.
Oh, damn it, Bobby.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
That's gold.
All right, very quickly. Who's the best golfer ever?
Tiger and Jack
No, there's no
Nicklaus.
and. There's no and. You have to pick one of them.
Tiger.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Would you like to do the back nine for me?
I certainly would. These are okay. I got a feeling I already know these answers for you, but we'll do it anyway. Bill Clinton or George Bush?
Oh,
It's like the best of
that's
two
like
evils.
The devil you know versus the devil you know.
Yeah.
That's every
Bill
president.
Gates.
That's Bill
Okay.
Gates.
Yeah. Cool.
That's every presidential race.
Elon Musk. No. WWE or UFC?
Oh, WWE.
Beautiful.
Did you go
Every
to
day-
the Elimination Chamber?
No, I didn't. I
Because you went. We'll have to catch that up on the
Oh,
next
yes.
podcast because I want to hear about
my
that.
wife's friends had a hens night. Why would you have a hens night on WWE?
Because she wanted you to go to wrestling and get out of the
Were you
house.
dancing on the hens night, were you?
Pay-per-viewed it, though.
Oh, okay, cool,
Watched
cool.
it,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, every day of the week.
NFL or AFL?
He's working
And
for the
don't
West
jump the
Coast
fence just so
Eagles.
you can keep your job.
I enjoy working in AFL, but I enjoy watching NFL.
Yeah. I'm just going to expand on that. How did you feel about the whole Taylor Swift thing through last season with the Chiefs? Did that piss you off to no end?
Nah, loved it.
Oh,
Because
made me so mad.
more people started watching
made me
NFL and
so
talking
mad.
about it than ever.
I wanted to fight every
We're
single
disappointed.
But you know what?
Swiftie.
Chiefs were always going to win because it was
100%.
always going to be a love story.
Yeah.
Because the jock gets the girl.
Yep.
And then they have this happy
And she
moment.
bought them so much money into the NFL.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
Nah,
you?
love it.
Which sucks because they beat my Ravens to get into the finals. So whatever.
I'm a Pats fan, so we can just shit the
Yeah,
bed
you
early.
suck anyway. Canada or America?
Canada. All the time.
Yep. Agreed.
Great. I concur.
yeah.
That's a wrap now, isn't it, Paul? You can call it a day.
Yeah. Samsung or Apple?
Apple. Do you judge someone heavily if they have an
Nerd.
Android?
Yeah, everyone does.
Nerd.
Go to hell.
Yeah. Oh,
absolutely.
dude, I'm sick of the green messages.
There's two
Grow
things
up.
that my father always told
That
me.
is
you never-
literally why you're buying an iPhone, because
No,
of a
it's not, 'cause
blue
it's
or a
just all
green
I've ever
light.
known.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
My father always said that you never trust, there's two things. You never trust someone with an Android or a salt and pepper beard. And you, my friend,
What about somebody who's black and can't grow a beard? Do you trust them?
Yeah, my dad
You
didn't
lost
talk
trust
about
on the
race.
first one. We're in Australia.
Oh, this one's easy. Wokeness or reality?
reality.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't stand
Yeah.
woke.
I feel like
think-
all three of the people on this panel.
I think
agree
we're on the
100%.
decline. I think we've reached max wokeness, and I
Yep.
think we're on the way
It's
down.
done. They're starting to push back
I think
now.
people are realizing that there's some dumb stuff, and
Yep.
we're kind of having to make amends for
Yep,
it.
I think so. Upper body or lower body?
Lower body.
Yeah, 100%. Trunks all the way.
Yep.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan, every day.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that as well.
What's your thoughts on that? Are you Jordan? Yeah, we spoke about it, didn't you? You said Jordan.
I'm of the mindset that I literally could not care less about that argument.
Yeah, I know.
Because
Yeah,
because
you can
everybody
hear it.
has pros and cons for either. I feel
Do you
like
know
the
the-
generation that grew up in this one is LeBron because they never saw Jordan.
I'll
We
say
got
this,
to
though.
see Jordan.
The question you asked before about upper or lower,
Yep.
if you want to really see what somebody's made of,
Put him in a leg workout.
put them in a squat rack or on a leg
Oh,
press.
squat rack is my favorite thing in the world.
That's where you figure out. That's where you have this coming to Jesus moment.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You figure out who you are.
yeah. You also figure
under a
out whether or
squat
not you're
bar,
going to shit your pants.
Right? You figure out who you are under that kind of weight.
Yeah.
And that's where I think you can develop the mental toughness like you would have never experienced it.
Yeah.
Like you are in a world of hurt that you have to solve.
Yeah. Little
have-
humble brag. Reached my max for 2 reps on squat, 140 kilos a month ago.
140, but it's only going that far though.
Nah, man, I'm asked to grass. I got the video.
Yeah, ass to grass that far.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I'm a strong midget. I'm a strong shell person. I don't think you can say that.
It's like watching a Oompa Loompa get
Yeah.
up and down.
Stop.
I've
It's
got
not
some-
that bad.
I don't know. How are we going for time?
No, we got to wrap it up very soon.
All right,
Yeah.
this will take 2 minutes. This is for both of you, okay? So I saved some pictures, and these have got some.
Whoa, we
either
don't need
or.
to see pictures,
No,
man.
I'll show them afterwards. That's bonus content. So would you rather relive your best memory or erase your worst memory?
I'd relive my
Oh,
best memory.
Man. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'd go relive my best memory.
I'm at the age now where I tell my friends about my worst memory, like those kind of things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
That's-
funny story.
Yeah,
now.
absolutely. It's a stitch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd relive the good ones.
Know how you die or know when you die?
No, I hate that one.
You got to answer it. You're on the pod.
Wait, what was it? How you
know
die?
how you die or know when you
yeah,
die?
know how. I'd want to know how.
Yeah, because then
And you can't
either
avoid
way
it.
you're dead. So I'd prefer to know what to prepare for rather than like when it's going to happen. I guess if you
What
keep
if it's the answer is just golfing,
I never play golf again.
but you will at some point. That's the thing.
But
you can't
that's
avoid
the
it.
thing. I'll never know when I'm going to do that. So when I eventually forget about that conversation and I go, oh, I'm going to go golfing with Jase, and I'm like,
You just
I'd
as,
like to know how.
Just
how
as
I'd
the
go.
ball rolls in as a hole in one, he gets
Go
struck
on,
by
last
lightning.
one,
Never
quick,
sees
we've got to
it.
get going.
All right. Never be loved again or never love again.
Never love again. Yeah.
Never be loved, I guess, because
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah,
I guess you can't really
No
feel
one
something
loves
that's
me
never
anyway.
happened anyway. Huh? Yeah.
Can I also add this fact too? Looking across here, you look like a golf version of Don King with all this jewelry and these rings, and look at you go.
Yeah, he's just showing
these
off for
rings
the
on these
podcast. He
little
never
Hey,
wears it.
Have you seen these?
No, I'm just looking at these rings on these kielbasa sausages. Have a look at this. These
Kielbasa.
Kranskis.
Boerewors sausages.
Hey, they'll put us here, but they
Cheese-filled
All right, look,
sausages wrapped in pastry.
on that note, look, Coach, thank you so much
Well,
for
I've
being here,
missed
man.
you.
Yeah, likewise.
These fat
I've missed your
fingers pointing
abuse.
out.
I've missed your abuse. Big time,
Don't
I've
you
missed
point
your
at me with
abuse.
your rack of sausages?
I love you, DT.
But look, thank you so much for coming in. I'm hoping we can get you back on because we got so much to unpack.
No, we'll definitely have you back for sure.
Absolutely.
But for everyone out there, you can find Coach Connolly at www.coachconnolly.com. He's on Facebook. He's on X, which is so weird to say, right?
Yeah.
And Instagram.
Just call it Twitter. If you don't know what X is, it's Twitter.
Yeah, or you can slide into our DMs and we can help you out to connect you with him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll pop this on the Instagram links and everything,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it'll be on YouTube and all the socials as
the
well.
Jace, thank you for coming back. I
Pleasure,
love it.
man. It's good to be back.
And
Good to be
Paulie,
back.
thank you as always, man. We appreciate all
thank you
your
very
love
much,
and
Coach
support.
EPG. Appreciate you, brother.
And that's it for another episode of Out the Bunker.
Yeah,
Take
and
care.
as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe. If there's anything you guys want us to talk about, make sure you chuck it in the comments, share it with everybody. We appreciate the love as always, so just follow us on all the platforms, and we will see you next time. Peace out.
That's the stuff. One shot at a time.
You're right, Roy. Just knock it on. Let her rip.
You're playing golf today.
No, I'm not, Grandpa. I'm playing tennis.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
Just go home.